Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another game of Shadows of Austin, Mage the Awakening, 2nd edition. Today, Alice and Zabanya are both heading out to the Viva. Let me get that name back up. Viva La Vida Festival and Parade. They're enjoying a day of relaxation away from, you know, magic, creatures, mayhem, and melon ballers. On this beautiful day, it is currently low chance of rain at a balmy 59 degrees, with uh, Alice dressed for the occasion in a much more scandalous Alice costume than she normally wears, fitting more with the uh, Halloween atmosphere in the air. She looks over. She looks over at Zabanya as they're walking forward. So, how was your weekend?
If I could be honest, boring. Things seem to have hit a spike after, well, a situation I had a few weeks ago. And since then,
Oh,
I met a very interesting individual.
how interesting are we talking?
Mm, he could change forms. Well, he could change into another form, rather. I don't know the extent yet.
So we're talking Thyrsus level interesting.
If I didn't know any better, I would say yes. He seemed to have knowledge on spirits, too.
Seems oddly specific. Was it a Thyrsus?
No, he
Then what
wasn't.
was it?
Mm, I'm not entirely sure, but I have a couple of guesses.
Care to speculate?
Whenever I entered into a combat situation with him, he let loose a howl, like a dog howl, or a wolf one.
Kind of like a battle cry?
Yeah, and that leads me to my first guess. However, mm, I'm not sure if that's true, considering he never actually turned into a wolf.
But you saw him change into something else.
Yes,
And what did he turn into?
he turned into a large man, basically. He was already a large man before, but in this case, it was heightened into, well, have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
It's on HBO right now, so yes.
He basically looked like the mountain, that terrier.
That's an unusual shape to take. And you said you were in a combat zone?
Yeah, there was a what I believed was a vampire that was causing a bit of a fuss. And
Troublesome.
yeah, he was terrorizing some owners of a restaurant. To the point, the owners of the restaurant had a pretty strong understanding of what he was. And not only that, he had kidnapped some people and put them in his basement, presumably to feed off of.
Sounds like he was operating without a veil.
Yeah. We got those people freed. Fortunately, he got away. I wasn't contacted by this man for, well, tracking him down, but if he doesn't, I have half a mind to do it myself.
Considering our duty and our jobs, that might be the most appropriate response. So, did you get the shapeshifter's name and information?
Yeah, his name's Seamus.
Did you get him at least one of our cards?
I gave him my number at least. I didn't want to put the rest of you in, well, a situation like that without your, well, without your knowledge.
Something I can appreciate. Seamus. Probably going to need to look him up as well. But it looks like you're not the only one to encounter some vampiric entities.
Eyebrow goes up. Oh, really?
Yeah. Alice is currently getting him into line, waiting at the concession stand. Let's just say we had an encounter. Me and Ares.
Sounds like it was about as friendly as my meeting then.
It went well. Actually, it went better than well. The issue was that Ares wasn't prepared for seeing a writhing mass of sexual lust and desire.
You. Is it?
Sounds like you wouldn't have been either.
Probably not.
Well, the meeting went off relatively well. It involved being invited to a party for a hunt, one that we were successful in executing. They released a series of feral vampires into the woods, and of course, I took it upon myself as my duty
Oh,
to hunt down at least one of them to prevent them from getting into our more civilized society. Ares was very helpful in the strategic planning and execution.
And then you handled the execution?
But of course,
Well, I'm glad to know it went well.
we got we were able to gather quite a bit of information, and we passed our card to a ranking vampire present. I find it important for us in the future to have them consider us for their investigative needs.
Sounds like a good idea. It'd be great business, I imagine.
Connections are always good, especially with ranking members of what appears to be some sort of coven.
Of witches?
Well, they were all naked women writhing upon one another, so I would assume yes. Alice will buy herself a soda at this point, a Sprite, and then also grabbing a hot dog. What'll you have?
I'm getting orange Fanta and a corn dog.
She'll make the order. Alice's hot dog is covered with relish, mustard, ketchup, and onion. Takes a bite out of it as they
Zavania's
start
basic
walking.
and just puts mustard on hers, on her corn dog. That's all she needed.
Nope, Alice goes fully loaded. So it seems we both had a interesting couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Despite going by the name of Ares, he seems to be less inclined towards my brand of warfare, she says with a smile. So I'm sure he would give you a slightly different account of the evening. Anything else interesting happen in your world?
She rubs her chin some. Mm, mm. I think that's about it. Might go vampire hunting soon, though.
Easier said than done.
Mm. My worry isn't necessarily in finding him. My worry is in stopping the prey once I find it.
Well, that would be my personal concern as well. Though enough bullets can stop virtually anything. All we need to do is make sure that we have enough ammunition to last the night.
Fair enough.
Do you have any ideas?
For finding it. Well, yes.
No, I meant for stopping him. After all, you already have ideas to find him, and considering both of our skill sets, it shouldn't be too hard.
I don't know vampires well, and based on what Seamus has said, he might have received some kind of spiritual power boost. However, she'll shrug. I don't see many things survive getting shot in the face a lot.
Overwhelming force it is. It took a full magazine to bring down the one we ran into in the woods.
Then we should likely assume that it will take much the same to bring down this one.
Agreed. I personally can't imagine that it'd be much easier given a creature with a spiritual power boost, as you put it.
I don't know too much about it, but Seamus was mentioning that it was taken by some kind of spiritual entity. I'm just going to assume it got a power boost.
Well, I can't imagine there's an easy way to turn sunlight into the necessary bullets. The stories imply that those creatures are, after all, more nocturnal.
Right, something like that could work. I'll just have to. It would actually help if I did research on actually fighting them rather than just, well, finding them.
Makes sense. She puts a finger to her temple. You can leave most of the combat to me if you want.
Mm,
It will take a little bit of work, however.
All right.
but I'll see what I can do. Um, so, something that just came to my mind. What have you been doing outside of our investigations?
Mhm. Mostly just handling while being normal
Are we ever that?
in my day job, yes.
Sometimes I forget you have a day job.
Yep.
So, day job. Things going okay with it?
Yeah. Even without magic, I can solve most of the problems there.
Magic doesn't solve all our problems, just most of them. Just most of them. So, she says, looking up at the sky. Pretty bad rain we had yesterday. Think that was related to the other storms that were hitting the area?
Probably. Has anyone looked into those yet?
No, it's pretty much just us. All I know so far is there's something supernatural about it, but nothing in my
He just looks up.
areas of expertise.
Zabanya just looks up real quick, activates Mage and Mind and Space Sight, blinks again, turns it off. Or at least at a first glance.
We might need to consider recruiting someone else to assist us in these operations. Someone with a skill set not outside of what you, me, and Ares can do.
Any suggestions?
Yes, actually. Um, a young woman I met at a Crosshairs, Fire Vitae.
I don't think I know her.
She's a counselor, a free counselor.
All right.
Clearly has a more um, lively Thyrsus bent.
Well, if 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 you think she's a good fit, more than down to at least take a look at her.
That was my thought. At the very least, we'd be able to talk to her about assisting our, or at least increasing the scope of what we do. She appears to be some sort of fire dancer in her free time.
Well, you did say lively.
I did. So, I also have told her about what we discovered in the park. Hopefully, she'll be amiable to any favor trading since the Free Council were the ones who received that strange disc.
Really? The Free Council received it?
Yes?
Events.
Um, their technological prowess is rather remarkable compared to some of our own orders.
Fair enough.
All this time, Alice has been wolfing down the hot dog, and is now down to just sipping her drink. So, going forward, do you have any plans?
I'd really like to look more into Argus's attackers. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if there's another lead for us.
There might be.
Perks
I
up.
mean, remember how we found the tools and we were able to see them?
Yes.
I can guarantee that, given what I know how to do, we should be able to trace back a little further should we go to the spot. Maybe we'll hear a name or a whisper that could point us in the right direction. Also, she says, reaching into her backpack and gingerly pulling out a magazine that says Third Stone Magazine. I saw this. She opens it up to a article that says, G-men are coming for you.
He starts starts looking over this. Who wrote this?
Some, well, looks it over. Third Stone Magazine doesn't have an author listed.
We can find out who did.
Exactly. More importantly, she says, reaching into her bag again and pulling out something else, uh, we should be wary of going any further south than our office. It's a newspaper, the Austin Chronicle. Uh, she has it on the front page showing a what looks like a crime scene and title Slaughter at Duffy's Tavern.
Went there once, didn't like it. Seems someone really didn't like it.
Exactly. Wild animal attacks, mass murders, multiple police. Doesn't sound like the South Side's getting much better. Just something to keep our eyes on.
Well, whatever's doing this, the more they're doing it, the more it's doing it, the more attention's going to be on everybody.
Right. If it's a couple of gangbangers, though, then Why are they training dogs? And I don't know. Just something to keep our eyes on, just in case.
I'll put this on my list.
List is getting longer, isn't it?
I don't mind.
She nods her head at that. Point taken.
So we look into this G-Man article.
And we consider going back to the site.
Right, and we look into this violence, whatever it is.
She nods her head. Oh, and don't forget we have that training session coming up.
Right. I'm. You don't hear me voice misgivings very often, but your plan is to have us shoot each other a lot.
Well, well, if you're good enough, then you won't get hit. It's part of training. And we can safely undergo live fire training because you'll be very lucky.
Right. Well, yeah.
Well,
It works out anyway. I have to get better with the gun either way.
both of us have been pretty much relying heavily on our arts, less our personal skills, so this will get us steps closer.
Yeah.
So, still have misgivings?
Mm, I'm probably always going to have a little bit about shooting one another, but I have more confidence in our abilities.
Not like I think you'll hit me anyways.
Shrug.
I tend to be pretty lucky. She has a slight smirk on her face, finishes as she finishes up the last of the Sprite and then tosses it into a nearby trash can. Not to mention, you're pretty skilled at not being where someone's shooting either.
She'll wiggle her hand. Waxes and wanes.
Same for me. The pair are currently walking through the block. Music is playing, live performances are going on. It's been blocked off from traffic, making foot traffic much easier. Some people are dressed in costumes, some people are in their normal clothes. It's still a very rather nice festive air with the slight chill of autumn and the sounds of soft music playing around them wherever they go. I guess that brings us to our final point of business. We need to plan something fun to do. It's almost Halloween.
My bad, out of character. I didn't catch that last one. We need to
Oh,
plan them for blank. It's almost Halloween.
we need to find something fun to do. It's almost Halloween.
Savanya smiles slightly and says, "We could go trick or treating."
I was thinking something a little more alcohol fueled, but trick or treating would work for me. Always
Alcohol,
down.
alcohol fueled also works for me. What were you thinking?
Maybe a concilium party. Get our names out there a little bit. Draw some of the right kinds of attention.
Fair enough. I will start getting decorations.
I'll find the location. Once I find Aries, I'll ask him if he doesn't mind spreading the word. Out of game. This is a perfect way for us to actually bump our concilium status.
For real though, the fucking
Mage office
Halloween
party.
party.
Oh, so she looks at her phone. Oh, there's a haunted house running this evening.
I heard about this. Let's check it out.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Should we let Aries know?
About the
Yeah, about the
now?
house.
Oh, about what?
At the should we let him know about the haunted house?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We'll probably lift up a cross or something and start screaming, which I live for.
The fear, the terror, or the psychological reprieve afterwards.
Yes.
Is that healthy?
No.
Well, at least you fully admit to that.
Speaking of health, this is an awful way to segue into it, but fuck it. The situation with Argus got me thinking. That kind of thing could happen to any of us, for any reason. Long
In
after,
theory.
long after the scars have healed over physically, and there's still quite a bit of mental ones.
Go on.
Should psychologist. I think. hmm, I think it might be a good idea to, after situations like that, we have kind of a debriefing. Not like the ones we already have, but the ones where we really get to sit down and unpack our thoughts and feelings on things.
So, talk.
Yes,
You're concerned that seeing such things is going to weigh on our souls, as it were.
all of ours. But yes,
I can understand that. All right. I'm game. Sounds like a good plan to me.
excellent.
Do you think Ares will go for it?
I think that, well, I think that Aries very much likes to put up a demeanor that projects strength. And I'm not entirely sure how he'll respond to being asked to expose vulnerability, even to those close to him.
Vulnerability.
With these things always comes a certain amount of.
So you're worried that he's going to hold it all in.
Yes,
That would be problematic. Hmm. And what about yourself?
I am a morbid, obsessive woman that is, well, drawn to people's psychological traumas and other such, well, issues. There's likely quite a bit for me to unpack as well.
All of that makes sense. All right. Want to call it a coffee break?
Sure. Coffee break.
Sounds better than psychotherapeutics meetup. Euphemisms can help.
Yeah.
So, um, anything else on your mind?
I think that's all for me.
She'll nod her head. And I'll be working towards getting a meetup with Fire Vitae and each of us as we can. I know that there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Our orders are keeping us pretty busy. She'll stop in mid step. And once we have some more assistance, we might want to look into that. Uh, well, the vampire problem that you mentioned. Someone with spiritual insight, such as Fire Vitae, could prove very useful in such an environment.
Exactly. I'd like to meet up with her, but, well, whatever.
Destiny will bring us together as soon as Destiny brings us together. As long as we have. Hmm?
Okay.
All right, planning something out.
And I just mean, well, if happenstance, then happenstance. I could also try to find her.
You know, never thought about that considering how secretive a lot of the members of the Concilium like to be. We're not exactly the most open secret society.
Right. Which is what makes it interesting. I'm going to stop now.
Oh, why stop there?
Because we're trying to be her friend. Well, not friend. Acquaintance. Establish a working relationship.
Like contracting out.
Yes.
So, all we need to do is establish a professional relationship, but I've already told her that we're private investigators. So, us doing a little bit of snooping doesn't seem that out of the ordinary, does it? I mean, if you were meeting us for the first time, you'd expect us to do our homework, right? Uh, did you hear that, Tim?
Oh, no. My bad.
All good. I mean, if you were meeting us for the first time, you'd expect us to do our homework, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm fucking weird.
Don't think it's that weird at this point. We've seen Stranger. I mean, you were talking about meeting or having to fight a spiritually enhanced vampiric entity. And I just went on a hunt this weekend with Ares to bring down vampiric entities, not spiritually enhanced, at the behest of a writhing pile of sex.
Mm,
So I understand Ares' thoughts on it. What's bothering you about that?
it's just always been. It's always seemed unnatural for me.
Sex orgies or orgy piles?
Uh, yes, in an escalating order. In that escalating order, exactly.
Zabanya, I'm surprised that you're the one who's most worried about um sex.
Not a worry, just well, a discomfort. There were well, if I'm comfortable with the person, then I can be comfortable with the situation. I just rarely find people that make me comfortable and are willing. So,
Which is why I figured you'd be the most overall comfortable with it compared to either me or Ares.
mm, we could see.
Not to mention you're the most psychologically sound. Alice will look up from her phone at this moment. Wait, is that Ares over there?
Looks over. She sniffs the air. I smell his cologne. That's the way he walks. I hear the canes in his voice. Yes, it is.
Ares!
Uh, when he looks up, there there's something a bit different. Um, Before there was a definite weight in his eyes, as if there was something tied up in them, something that at the moment's notice would threaten to spill over. You would notice that he was often had his shoulders back, almost erect, in the sense that he had his purpose, but that purpose a had a thin veil of something more sinister, but something more a little unrelenting. But now it's simply not there. Um he walks lighter, He's moving lighter. He is the smiles before were genuine, but they feel almost heartfelt. And not that he wasn't attractive before, it now seems that it's coming from a deeper, more primal place. And as he's making his way over, um, he it just seems as some women sometimes do when they find something attractive. There's the head down, the bated breath, the anxiousness when he's just simply moving and saying excuse me. The eyes are lingering more because it's a definite marketable, almost desperate sort of thing. Something that's walked straight out of a romance novel. To Alice, does she have any sights active?
Yes, whenever you guys get near, but especially because you ping
Oh
to
yeah.
peripheral.
Oh yeah, no, mindset.
um, mindsight. Being that I'm pretty sure Zabani, being who she is definitely questioned Ares about his darker tendencies, how he's super unwilling to compromise, how he's super passionate in this really unyielding way.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost as if you're looking at someone super differently. Thing has been something has happened. Something is not right. That
And
cog that you saw before just isn't there.
and as a side note, because we both have focus mage side up, he's pinging to mind and fate right now.
Yep. Hard. It almost feels as that that vengeful, that red string that was sort of wrapping him together when he talked about things has now turned a vibrant rose color. Hello, ladies. Sorry I was late.
Okay, so first of all, what the hell happened? Second
Uh,
of all, are you okay?
I'm
And third of
fine.
all, do we need to kick its ass?
Hello,
No.
Aries.
Hello, Alice. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, she says, kind of circling him.
Why are you circling me like stop that? Sit.
Uh,
Wait.
Sometimes a girl has to stretch her legs and pret it.
Okay. I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be?
Did you? Did
Hmm?
you change your magic? She says, leaning forward, really close to him, scrutinizing.
No, it's still there.
I repeat my three questions. What happened?
No,
Who did it? Do we need to fight it?
no, nothing happened, and I'm fine.
Right. She says, continuing to focus on him. I'm actually going to make a focused mage side roll
Mhm,
of revelation
mhm.
to I don't I'm assuming the opacity in this case we'll call it your highest resistance trait
Okay,
minus my subtract from my gnosis plus arcanum roll.
okay. So that would be 3. So
Uh,
take 3 off of whatever you're doing.
4 dice And a revelation just means that if I succeed, she learns something about the mystery that is you. If I fail, then I get nothing. But you have become a living mystery.
Mm-hmm.
At dice cord, roll 4. Success.
You know that I would say that something has definitely resolved in his spirit. It has come to an end.
You are not the Aries I knew earlier, she says, tilting her head to the side, as she finally takes a seat at a nearby bench with
Why
them.
are you guys acting so fucking weird? What, like, I don't know. I
You
feel lighter. I feel better. I don't feel like a bound up ball of energy.
That's fair. I apologize. You've gone through a very noticeable and extensive mental and emotional change in a very short amount of time.
And it involves something to do with fate and twisting threads of time and destiny.
Abigail, um, I was thinking, I was thinking about you, and I thought you might like it. He hands you a book that is wrapped up in um that's wrapped up in fabric bound tightly, secures and restraints on it, and he passes it over to you.
She takes it, hefts it, continues to stare at it. It's magic.
Yes.
It's magic. It's I
You
love it.
should probably put it in a vault. Not let anyone ever see it again. Not
And
now. Not ever.
well, secrets are meant to come out when they're useful or necessary, but a vault would be a wonderful home for it. I, you know, I let me make it up to you.
Okay.
You got me a gift. Uh, maybe dinner.
All right.
Uh, what kind of food do you want to go eat?
Mm, can we do? Take me to your favorite spot.
Wait, my favorite spot?
Mhm.
Uh, well, there's a nice French bistro down Main Street. Uh,
Okay. It's a date then.
what time do you want to pick me up?
Uh, we'll say 5 o'clock for a nice reasonable dinner.
A nice, reasonable dinner. Sure.
Hmm.
5 o'clock sounds perfect. She looks at herself in her. It's a similar Halloween-like costume to what he saw her in for the Nights of the Living. Whoop, one moment.
Hmm.
Yeah, telemarketers. It's similar to the Halloween costume she was wearing when they went out to the vampire hunt. Uh,
Hmm.
Gets up, kind of fluffs her skirt.
Hmm.
Um, so since we're here, we should walk and talk.
Definitely.
Have you been going to therapy?
He just looks at somebody like that was the most awkward segue. Like, I still have my appointments at your request, but I guess it's finally working. Shrug. I never really put much thought and impact into you know, psychological stuff. It just felt like psychobabble.
Do you know what led you to this breakthrough?
Um, I remember wanting to do something, anything that would move me from where I was then to where I am now. And I suppose, all bullshit applies, it was just a conscious decision to want to be better.
And you've gotten better, she says, looking him over again, kind of touching his forearm, poking at it really.
Um, when you poke at him, it's not as if before he just probably would have shooed you away, chastised you. Oh, another woman's trying to look at me, and another man. Stop being weird. Like, he just sort of like allows it. He allows you to poke and prod at him.
She's making a mental note, gives kind of Zabanya a look, makes a motion when Ares isn't looking, but Zabanya is like as if showing where the boundary of the bubble used to be and then where the boundary of the bubble is now. Since the weekend, have you been getting out more?
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, I've been jogging more. Before I start my workload in cases, um, I've started running, doing some weights, getting a little bit more active and fit since our timeout last time. So, it just seemed like the more responsible thing to do. Um, I guess I'm burning off the energy that I didn't have before in a more positive way.
what do you think about that, Zabanya?
I think she's a little distracted, but Ares will offer his shoulder to her, sort of in like walk and talk.
There we go.
How much of that did you miss, Tim?
She pokes his forearm.
Oh, then Alice looked over at Zabanya and made a motion like when she could catch her eye, like this is where the personal bubble used to be. This is where the personal bubble is now.
You've become remarkably more comfortable with close contact.
Yeah. Before it used to be like, don't touch me, don't look at me. Why are you staring for so long? Like, you definitely feel like before he had a definite problem with like public affection, like it bothered him on like a deep emotional level. Now it's just like that bubble doesn't exist anymore. It's just like it's just not there. Like,
Definitely a unique turn of events. And yet, something's changed about where you're going. It's like It's like there's a thread guiding you towards some inscrutable end.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so first of all, has everyone here seen Family Guy?
Yes.
Does anyone remember that cutaway? It's a really old cutaway joke.
Mhm.
But it's specifically the face that Peter made after the KFC cashier told him that Colonel Sanders is dead.
Wow. Wow. That's very apt. Super apt.
Just the amount of stuff.
You always notice that Ares offered his arm to Alice. He
Which she
never
took.
does that ever. Like it's more that he playfully shoves her away. Like almost like in a Big Brother type of way. Like
It's like you've become a walking mystery.
mysteries aren't that bad. Also not something he would say. Like
Now that's a curious attitude.
you already know how he feels about mysteries. Everything needs to be solved immediately so we can move on to normality. Whatever normal is, now he's kind of embracing the fact that there are mysteries in people and he's kind of almost comfortable with it.
Well, so, I mean, it's just so intriguing.
Emma, you smell nice today. Is that a new perfume?
She looks kind of surprised despite her normal calm demeanor. Uh, yes. Was just trying something unique. Uh, kind of behind his back, looks over at Sabanya like, get with a quizzical expression.
What the f- Who is he?
This is incredibly alarming on multiple levels.
It's alarming. No, it's fascinating. I mean, to change so quickly, to finally grasp the threads of destiny and fate.
um, all right. Uh,
Want to say how very acanthus of you.
um, I could see a definitely a Canthus turn of events, but I would also say that not every Obermosa is hell bent on death, murder, kill.
Okay, looks behind his back again at Sabanya.
They never were about that. In fact, you were one of my biggest case studies for them. I say case study, I just mean I took notes.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I don't take, it's comforting that friends take interest in my thoughts and viewpoints.
Well, you were climbing the ladder pretty rapidly, so you're a good case study for all sorts of
Oh, I got a
research.
promotion. He smiles.
Wait, what?
I got a promotion. Yeah. Um.
Amazing.
That's great. About the most alarming thing I've heard thus far.
Um, oh, we're talking about throwing a Halloween party to get our names out there amongst the concilium.
Sure, that sounds like fun. Ares
Uh,
is a homebody.
I'll find. I was finding a location. Zabanya said she'll look into decorations, and we were hoping you could spread the word.
You would also guys know that Aries is a homebody. He likes pizza and Netflix and binge watching shows. He is your go-to for meaningless trivia about TV shows. He just simply knows. He keeps up. He's up to date with Supernatural.
What the fuck?
And he's up to date with Supernatural, Arrow, like those shows that have like multiple seasons. And he very systematically says, sure.
Great. Uh, yeah.
What should taking out something to write with what's the thing?
Oh, the Zabanya.
Is Halloween not a good theme?
No, I mean like what aspect of Halloween? Are we going more horror? Are we going more fantasy? Is it more whimsical? Or are we just doing everything and just hoping it turns out well?
I was gonna go for the.
Oh, you cut in and out for a second?
Oh, my bad. She said, I was going for the last one, not gonna lie. I don't know why you put me in charge of decorations, Alice.
You you suggested decorations.
I don't know why you put me on decorations.
Better you than me.
Aries will interject with a snarky note, usually. There's no snark. It's just a quiet affirmation of what's happening.
Oh, and we were also talking about asking Fire Vitae to work with us on some of the recent cases for her unique perspective and capabilities as a theorist and a member of the Free Council.
Aries doesn't like the Free Council. It's definitely a he unironically calls them beatniks, but now it's just an acceptance of that they just have a different way of thinking. And you know when somebody just says the trigger word and it just sends somebody on to a 15-20 minute tirade of why they're wrong and what's wrong with them. That never happens. Like, instead you get we hung out. It was cool.
Wait, you've met her?
Yeah. Twice now. One second time was at the market and the other time was at a
Market?
yeah, it was another market, I believe.
Wait, another market? You've been going to flea markets?
I guess you could call it a flea market.
The fuck does that mean?
Alice blinks at Zabanya, just outright saying it.
He pulls out the card like, yeah, they sell a whole bunch of weird things. I've checked it out a few times.
What? Books? Artifacts?
Thoughts, dreams, feelings, emotions. Like,
What?
yeah, it's like it's a place where apparently you can buy anything you want. So.
And what did you buy?
Did I buy? Oh boy. Yeah. Regretting life decisions now. Oh wait.
Wait, you did. She stops,
I
takes
brought
him
some
by,
things.
puts her hands on both of his arms.
What? Jesus. Like,
What did you buy?
I got you the book. Wait.
You got the book from there?
Yes.
Oh. Well, Zabanya, do you have any cash I can borrow?
How much you need?
How much do I need? She's just looking back at Aries.
Oh. Blake. It was weird. He asked me to sing him a song and he gave me the book. It was odd. Like,
Apparently none. Just sing a song and
I got the
everything was
book.
good.
Yes.
She lets him go. Perfect.
Well, wait, are you telling me that there's a market where you don't buy things with money?
Yes.
We're going, right?
Yeah, we're fucking going.
Well, change of plans. No haunted house this evening. We're going to the market.
I wanted to go see the haunted house, please.
We can go see the haunted house later, she says.
I've been twice already. All right, fine.
You
Okay,
can be
okay,
our
okay.
guide.
You've been there twice. What?
Yes, got some pretty nifty things.
This sounds like incredible fun.
It is a lot of fun. He pulls out. I have. He pulls out like the carton of like oranges. I got these two. They were blue.
So they convinced you to buy some blue oranges.
Yeah, it seems hipster-ish, and I want to try something new.
Well, you are a hipster.
No, I just have a very eccentric viewpoint. But thank you for the very nice criticism.
So okay, so let me walk this back.
Oh boy, you're getting
So
angry.
you got
But
this book.
you have that look in your eyes where you found something. Oh boy, I'm ready.
You got this book. You also got the oranges. Is there anything else that you bought? That you bought?
um, there is something, but it's super personal. I can't talk about that.
Alice is practically salivating at this. Her eyes are looking straight into his.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
actually,
it's-
didn't catch the answer to Von's question. My bad.
Oh, repeat the answer then.
uh, my answer?
Yes.
Oh, that I did get something personal, but yeah, I'm not talking about that part.
So you have a secret.
So what did
But
you
I had
buy?
secrets before.
As do I. So what was the personal thing that you bought? Was it a mental? Was it a breakthrough in your mental health?
No. He just says like very finitely.
What subterfuge? Spinning at willpower.
He's not lying. That was probably the most honest thing he said all day. I guess we're on our way to the. I guess we're on our way to the markets. I think.
Well, I should get changed from this, she says, kind of flipping up the edge of her skirt just slightly in a teasing fashion.
You
Into
get a
something more
whistle and a
appropriate.
lip. You get a whistle and he licks his lips.
Uh,
What?
that I actually have to roll composure plus subterfuge at this point to say that she doesn't have a reaction. So give me a moment. Let's see if
Oh, hold on. I'm definitely rolling with sympathy.
I get one success. Can you beat one success?
Let's see, because I might not.
Our massive dice pools of doom.
Goes to the.
Oh shoot! Hold on. I forgot to do 8 again.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, remember, trained observer.
Alrighty.
She is able to keep her composure.
Actually, I'm curious now.
Oh no.
This is gonna get bad real fast.
What is the perception empathy?
Yeah, wits empathy to beat her composure versus subterfuge plus subterfuge. Without our magic, our mighty dice pools of 4 and
Almost
6.
I had discernment. Things would have been better, but whatever.
Oh shit! I forgot because I have an empathy spec in emotions. I'm sorry.
Just roll your extra die. Let's see what happens. And then let's see what Ares gets.
There we go. We good. We good for realsies now.
Nothing.
Okay, none of you caught it. She has maintained her reputation. So, yeah, get changed.
He's watching. Like he says, okay, but there's definitely like a lingering stale. It's not like totally perverted and stalkerish, but
And we'll reconvene this evening.
of course.
Great.
Yes.
I'll see you then.
Okay.
And I think this is a good place for us to end our scene.
Yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a good evening.